What's up, guys? Got
How's it
Nate
going?
here, hairdo, for those who don't know. Today we're going to go over the two most basic styles of squat that we'll teach to new kids and new people coming into the gym. The first one is just a simple body weight squat that we'll do with most people. Now, if some people don't have the strength to do it with just their body weight, we might use an implement, which we can make other videos for, like a box or a bench or something. But this is as if somebody can do a squat here. The first thing that we'll do is talk about the stance. The heels are going to be about shoulder width apart, okay, and the toes are going to be pointed out just a little bit. You can go a little bit more than that. Yep. And you want the toes out just so that the knees will track over them, and if the knees go out over the toes, it clears room for your hips to sit down between your thighs, okay? Because ideally, we get really long ranges of motion when we squat. The more range of motion you get, the more work that your muscles do, the more work that they do, the more of a stimulus that is. The more of a stimulus, the more results, ideally. So long ranges of motion help with more stimulus, and so it's getting more bang for your buck. If you're gonna squat, why not just go all the way down and get more out of it versus cutting yourself off about halfway? Ideally, everyone's different, of course. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is the mobility. By getting deep into a squat, your flexibility will improve if you don't already have that flexibility. So heels are shoulder width apart, toes pointed out. I like to have them put their hands together like this, okay, like they're gonna pray. If they don't pray, just hands together. The elbows are gonna be an external cue or something to tell them that when they drop into a squat, their elbows should be between their knees. So when I say go, all Nate's gonna do is he's going to keep his elbows tight to his body. He's gonna reach his butt back and push his knees apart. And he's gonna pause at the bottom of the squat. So I could point a couple things out. So go ahead and squat down. Good. And now get those knees inside the elbows here, just like that. So the elbows can push out against the knees a little bit, stretching them out. And now he'll notice that his feet are flat on the ground, okay? You don't wanna be up on the toes, and you don't want your toes up off the ground either. You should be flat-footed. When he stands up, he's gonna push with these muscles. Good. So now you're gonna face that way, and let's show the squat again. When people squat and they learn this movement, one of the common things that they'll do is try to keep their chest up too much, and their heels will come up. So it's really important that you make sure your feet stay flat so you're nice and balanced and stable. So that cue reaching back could also be, lean over, tilt a little bit, but I just want you to see it from the side, what it looks like. So go ahead and squat down again. The elbows are between the knees. Good. And down here, he's nice and balanced. He'll stand up pushing with these muscles. Good. So somebody masters that. Let's say they can do 10 reps in a row. No problem. They're completely balanced. All right. The next aspect of the squat will be adding in a weight. This is called a goblet squat. I think it's just because it's like drinking a goblet, I guess.
Something like
goblet
that.
squat, just what they call it. Now, I like this movement before somebody starts going to a barbell, especially if they're younger and they need to develop the strength, or someone just needs to develop the strength to get to that point, because it really forces you to keep everything super, super tight, or else you're gonna tip over and you're gonna fall forward. So it forces you to get a tighter midsection or core, if you will. Kind of hate that word. So when you're teaching this part, you want to incorporate some breathing aspects to it. So before he squats, he's gonna get a big breath, and he's gonna hold his breath. He's gonna squeeze his belly very tight, and hold that belly tight and hold that breath in until he gets to the top. Ready? Big breath, squat down, go up, and he's gonna breathe at the top here, okay? Big breath, tight belly, down, and up. Good, he breathes at the top here. Good, you could rest, Nate. And so all this is a progression from body weight to using a light weight. Now, I have kids as young as 8 or 9 years old. They'll start with body weight squats, then they might hold on to a 5 or 10 pound dumbbell. And I'll give them goals. Younger kids who are starting to get to a point where they can squat with a bar, I'll tell them, you can't touch a bar until you could squat a 45 pound dumbbell with perfect technique all the way down and all the way up for 10 reps. A bar is 45 pounds. So if they could do that while having to hold everything tight, getting to a bar and putting it on your backs can be a lot easier. So these are just a couple progressions that we'll use when teaching someone to squat.